Right, okay, let's go through this paper together and just be very mindful that what I'm saying is a mark. It might not be 100%, so just judge it quite loosely on what I'm saying, because obviously I haven't got the mark scheme for this. So the first question, write down the value of the 3 in the number 1439. So you're going to write 30 because it's in the tens column. 0.3 is a percentage, you know it's 30%. 6.48 to one decimal place, it's going to be 6.5. The value of 10 to the power of 3, so that's 10 times 10 times 10, which gives you 1,000. 5 meters into centimeters, you know there's 100 centimeters in a meter, so you just times that by 5. C times C times C times C is going to give you C to the power of 4. 3m plus 2m plus 5. Collect your like terms. 3m plus 2m is 5m, and then you cannot do anything else with the 5 except just put it on the end with the instruction it was given, which was plus. 20% of 60, so you know, bank your 10%, which you know is equal to 6. So 20% is double that 6, which is going to give you 12. And the pound sign's already there for you, so it's £12. An even factor of 12, so we'll start by writing the factors of 12. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and then any of them numbers that are even, so we'll just go with 12. Work out how many minutes are in 1/5 of an hour. So 1/5 of 60 is just literally just going to be 60 divided by 5, which is 12. And these are only 1 mark questions that we've done so far. I mean, this one was, yeah, no, they are all just 1 marks. So if you don't get the exact answer, then you can't grab any marks for it. Work out the size of angle marked X. So what I would start by doing on this one is just make sure 180 is seen. 180 take away 60 is 120. 120 take away 50 equals 70. So your answer is 70. The reason for this is all angles in a triangle sum to 180 degrees. Now for this one, if you didn't put 70, but you did put 180 and showed that you're taking these two away from 180, you're going to grab a mark. On the probability scale, mark or across the probability the dice lands on a number 5. Well, it's an ordinary dice, so we know the numbers on the dice, and we know that it's a 1 in 6 chance that it's going to land on number 5. Okay, so what have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'll see there are actually 6 little intervals here, and we know it's 1 in 6, so we just put the X here. Okay? 1 kilogram of cheese costs £6. Work out the cost of 300 grams of cheese. So the first thing we're going to do is note down that 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So if 1,000 grams is equal to £6, we know 100 grams is equal to that divided by 10, because to go from 1,000 to 100, you've divided by 10. So we're going to divide £6 by 10, which gives us 60p. So if 100 grams is 60p, 300 grams is going to be 60p times 3, which is going to give me £1.80. So my amount here is £1.80. Marks wise, if you've done 1,000 grams equal to £6 and then tried to divide that down before multiplying up, you would still get a mark for that. Work out 20 minus 6 times 2. What we're looking for here is brackets to be put around the 6 times 2. So we're looking for a bracket there, and we're looking for a bracket there. Now 6 times 2 is 12, 20 take away 12 is 8. You'll know that is BIDMAS or BODMAS. Again, only 1 mark, so you need to be getting that 100% correct. Y is equal to minus 5. Work out the value of 2y squared. Now indices always come first. Okay, so we need to do the minus 5 squared first. Now minus 5 times minus 5, minus times a minus gives me a positive, so it's actually 25. Minus 5 times minus 5 is 25, and then we've got 2 times by 25, which gives me 50. Again, only 1 mark. The table shows the masses of 5 different fruits. Work out the difference between the mass of 1 banana and the mass of 1 lemon. So what we need to be seen to be doing here is to have our 122, and we need to be taking away 58. Okay, it's really important that you've got that here, because what it's asking you is if you know what difference means, and you know the difference is the gap between the two numbers. So we do 58, take that from 122, so 2 would give us 60, then 62, so 64. And obviously you would have a lot nicer working out than me to be able to do that. I'm just doing it quite quickly. So we've got 64 grams there. Work out the total mass of 11 strawberries. Assume that all strawberries have the same mass. So we've got 25 grams, and it wants 11. So we need to be indicating that we're multiplying that. Now 25 times 10 gives me 250, plus another 25 gives me 275. And again, you can work that out writing it down. You don't have to do it in your head. This is non-calculator, so it'd be good if you've got evidence of multiplying them up. And you would get a mark just for seeing this here, okay, for the 25 times 11 and then intent to work it out. The same as this one here, the 122 minus 58 and intent to work it out. So have you shown them that you're starting to work that out? How many times greater is the mass of 1 apple than the mass of 1 grape? So we're going to go back to this table. So 1 apple is 155 and 1 grape is 5 grams. So 155 is apple and grape is 5. So how many times greater is apple than grape? Well, how many times does 5 go into 155? So we know that 5 goes into 100 20 times, and we know that 5 goes into 55 11 times, so it's 31 times greater. Please don't think you have to do this in your head. You can use the bus stop method for that. You're just going to do 155 divided by 5. And you know it goes in there equally because it ends in the 5. Question 16. Work out how many students are represented in the chart. So you need to be looking at your y-axis, and you're going to be adding up these totals. So what you want to be showing the examiner when they're marking this, that you are reading off of the table correctly. So we've got 3 plus 7 plus 6 plus 3 plus 3 again plus 1. Now if you write this and for some reason you add this up and you get it wrong, you will still get 1 mark because you've written this. If you don't write this, you add it up in your head and you get it wrong, you will get no marks. So you need to be making sure you're writing this down. 3 plus 7 is 10, plus 6 is 16, plus 3 is 19, plus that 1 there is 20, plus the 3 is 23. Write down the mode of the number of pets. So what is the most common for the number of pets? And that is the one that you can see has the most amount of people that have selected it. So the tallest one, which is 1. One student was absent from the class on the day when the teacher asked how many pets they had. This student had 2 pets. If this student was included in the results, would it affect your answer to part B? So we knew that this was the mode because it had 7 people. If someone else came and they said 2, that would take that up to 7 people. So yes, it would impact. As both 1 pet and 2 pets would have 7 students. So they would both be the mode. Okay? Question 17. Cedric says students with glasses do better at their tests. To test his claim, he asked everyone in the class if they wear glasses and if they pass their recent test. The table below shows results and includes Cedric himself. Show that the proportion of students who pass their test is the same for the students who do wear glasses and those who do not wear glasses. Okay, so we've got wears glasses here, so we can just put WG. And it is out of 10. And the people who passed was 6 out of 10. And the people who didn't pass was 4 out of 10. So then if we go along here and we do don't wear glasses, you can see it's now out of 15. 9 out of 15 passed. And 6 out of 15 didn't. Now, in order to show that this is the same, you can see here it says the same, we need to make the denominators the same. So it's already given us a hint by saying same there, isn't it? Now, what we can do is we can look for a common factor between both of these. And a common factor between both of these is 5. So if I scale this down to be an out of 5, my 6 that was out of 10 is now going to become 3 out of 5. Because I've halved the 10, so I've got half the 6. My 4 that was out of 10 is now going to become 2 out of 5, again, because I need to half it. My 9 out of 15 needs to be divided by 3, which gives me 3 out of 15, out of 5, sorry. And then my 6 out of 15 needs to be divided by 3 because my denominator is going to become 5. And that gives me 2 out of 5. Now, can you see, and you could have scaled this up. You could have gone up to 30 with this one, up to 30 with this one. I've just chosen to go down. And if you went up to 30, that's absolutely fine. All you are doing is making the denominator the same so that you can compare these figures. As soon as the denominator is the same, you will notice the numerators also become the same. So what I've done here is I've clearly shown that these are the same. And if I wanted to, I could just put an equal sign in there to make my point extra clear. Now, a student is selected from the class at random. Work out the probability the student does not wear glasses and did not pass their test. So they're selected out of the whole class. Okay, so we've got 15 here and 10 here. So for my first mark, I'm going to make sure my denominator is 25. That's my first mark there because I've added this denominator and this denominator because it's out of the whole class. Now I need to go to does not wear glasses and did not pass. Does not wear glasses, did not pass. And that is 6 over 25. First mark, second mark. Let's move on. Solve. So when you're solving, you need to make sure you have got x and equals because that's what it wants. It wants the value for x. Now 12 plus 5x equals 2. You can see here, all I need to do is the inverse for 2. So I've got 2 here and a positive 12. So I'm going to have to do 2 take away 12, which is going to give me minus 10. Now if 5x equals minus 10 divided by 5, well 10 divided by 5 is 2, So I'm just going to put my minus back, and it's minus 2. Very, very important you show each step of this, because each step is going to be a mark. Okay, if you've got this written out, you're going to get a mark for it, or this here, you're going to get a mark for it. Factorise tells me I need to put back into brackets. There's no squared there, so I only actually need one set of brackets here. I'm going to find the highest common factor of 20 and 15. The highest number that goes into both of them is 5. So 5 goes outside my bracket. To make 5 become 20, I need to multiply it by 4, so that goes inside my bracket. The minus I'm going to put there because there was a minus here. To make 5 become 15, I need to multiply it by 3. And I notice I've got a b there, so I need to put a b here. Right, question number 19. All supporters at a football match are adults or children. So the first thing I'm going to do is just write that in, adults to children. The ratio of the number of adult supporters to the number of children supporters is 3 to 2. Again, I'm just going to write that in so it's there. What percentage of the supporters at the match are children? Now, the minute I see the word percent, I know that percentage in this case is going to be out of 100. So if 3 to 2 equals 100, I'm going to add my ratio, which gives me 5. I'm going to do 100 divided by 5, which gives me 20. And I'll do 20 multiplied by the 3, which is 60%. Again, because we're dealing with percent here. And 20 multiplied by the 2, which is 40%. So my answer is 60 to 40, and it wants children. Now, because I was very careful to make sure I labelled at the beginning, I know I can see straight away there that that side is for my children. Okay, this side of my adults, this side is for my children. In terms of marks for this question, where do you get marks? Well, you can collect marks if you've got 3 to 2 and equals 100%. And then your extra mark is for this bit of work in here. At a different match, 5/6 of the supporters were adults and the rest were children. Write down the ratio of the number of adult supporters to the number of children supporters. With 5/6 were adults, then something over 6 needs to make that 5 become 6. So it's 1/6, because 5 plus 1 gives me my total of 6. So the number of adult supporters to the number of children supporters is 5 to 1.